and welcome to Bon AppeGeek, a fun twist on a cooking show where three geeky friends come together to bring our favorite fandoms to life by whipping up tasty dishes in our home kitchens based on and inspired by our favorite games, shows, movies, and more. I'm Rach.
I'm Nora.
I'm Jeremy.
And we are three geeks who play with our food. Welcome to our Ted Lasso episode of Bon AppeGeek. We are super excited about this one. All of us absolutely adore Ted Lasso, and there's some good stuff in there. I'm excited to make it.
Except Nate.
Yeah, I mean, no spoilers, but if you know, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, so we will not be inviting Nate to join us here to taste anything or cook with us today.
Nope.
But we are going to make some good stuff that hopefully will put us all in the mindset of a show that makes us all really happy. This is a show that I got into during the pandemic. I just stumbled upon it. I'm an SNL fan, so I saw on Apple TV that Jason Sudeikis had a show, and I was like, oh, cool, I'll check it out. And instantly hooked. Just from the outset, absolutely loved it. It's heartwarming, adorable, funny. It's perfect.
Yeah, I think did you tell me about it, or I just stumbled upon it too? I can't remember.
I can't remember. I know I'm always just dumping like everything I've watched on you. Like, you need to watch this.
Let's do it. But I instantly and will forever be in love with Ted Lasso. Heartwarming is the perfect way. That first season, it was just, it made you happy in your heart.
Yeah, I like that it sprung from a NBC sports commercial.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
Like, here's a show now.
And it's so well thought out and well written, and just to think that it came from like a little snippet on a commercial.
It's got Giles from Buffy in it. Mm-hmm. It's got the Shame Nun from Game of Thrones. That's Rebecca. Which
you will not recognize, or I didn't. No, yeah, that was a shock. That was a shock. No, the cast is fantastic. The acting's great. The humor is like top-notch dad humor that is just fantastic. I love it.
And it pulls you in. It makes you root for this little team that you want to see go all the way. I literally went woohoo when Roy, that thing he did at the end of the last season. No spoilers. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Very rarely a show pulls me in that much. Like, I'm just like, I'm there for it.
No, I'm in it. Like, I'm all up in their love lives, like what the team is doing. I'm like, yes. I'm right there, like, sucked in.
It's inspired me to try and find a Premier League team to actually cheer for in real life.
Yeah.
I think Leicester City is what I'm leaning towards.
Cool. Yeah, I can't figure it out.
I always say I'm going to when, like, World Cup happens, and then I'm like, okay, I'll try next time.
But yeah, so we've talked about all the things that make the show wonderful, but one of the things that we haven't talked about is the food that pops up on the show. And so when it came to deciding a main dish that I thought was representative of the show, I was going to make the Indian food that Ted ate with shrimp crab early in season 1.
Sorry. Shrimp crab.
Independent.
The Independent.
Yes. And make it all nice and like extra spicy, or try to come up with a way to make it where you could serve it ridiculously hot if you needed to impress someone like Ted. But then as I watched through season 2, the storyline with Sam, and to not get too spoilery there, my dogs have strong feelings about this. Apparently they wanted me to make the Indian food, but I didn't. No, in season 2, I got really wrapped up in that storyline, and then the second I saw that episode where Sam went out and they had the Jollof rice, and there was a discussion about Nigerian way versus the Ghanaian way to make it, I was like, I am really interested in this dish. So I just decided to make it for dinner that night that I watched it, and I loved it, and I was like, okay, I like the storyline, I like this dish, this is where we're going with this episode. And so that's what we did. Cool. So, the sign doesn't believe we can pull it off. The dogs don't agree, but we are going to make a really good jollof rice. I've made it a couple times now. I've been happy with it a couple different ways, so I think it's going to be good, despite what the sign and
Yeah,
my
we
dog
don't need
said
that
to
sign.
say.
We
No.
believe. I believe in your rice. But for dessert, if even a casual viewer of Ted Lasso would know what that little pink box meant. So, of course, we're going to have biscuits with the boss. Our little pink box is ready for the shortbread biscuits. I'm looking forward to that. I love me some shortbread.
I am so excited for those. Like every episode, he shows up with those biscuits. I'm like, I want them. Bring them to me. Bring them to me.
I will take them.
Very excited to get to try those.
We're going to try change it up just a little. We're going to dip some of them in some chocolate with orange extract. So
Ooh.
a little bit different. We're still going to have our box and our shortbread cookies. Just change it up.
And then for the drink, I want what Rebecca's mom likes is the lemon lavender mojito.
Ah, yes. When
most
mom
of-
gives you lemons.
Yes. Most of the drinks you see are beer or
Yeah.
tea, which is just
Hot brown
leaves
water.
and water. So yeah, I went with the mojito. I tried to do a nice layering thing where it's yellow and purple on the bottom for the lavender.
Nice.
Ooh, I can't wait. That sounds fancy.
Well, yeah, that all sounds really good. So I'm ready to jump in and do it.
Yeah, let's get that Belize sign back on the wall. Let's get cooking.
Time and dogs, break. Hey friends, we are going to get started on our main dish for our Ted Lasso episode, and that is Sam's Jollof rice. So with this recipe, the majority of it's going to take place over on the stove. It's pretty simple. It feels a little intimidating, but it's not, I promise. So what I'm going to do now is just walk you through our ingredients, and then we're going to start on the sauce, and then we'll head over to the stove to really get started cooking. So this is a beef-based recipe. So we are using 10 ounces of this stew beef, so just this stuff cut up into chunks. We're going to use 2 teaspoons of Caribbean curry powder. It's sometimes called Jamaican curry powder. It's a little bit different from the traditional curry powder that we've all used, or an Indian curry powder. It's just got a little bit of a different spice blend. It's got a little bit more turmeric. It's got some nutmeg and things that you don't find in a traditional curry powder. I got this off of Amazon. It wasn't very expensive, and I got this huge tub of it. If you can't find it or you don't want to place an order, you can use regular curry powder. It's going to have a little bit different flavor, but it works. I've made this recipe both ways and it still works. We're going to use 2 teaspoons of dried thyme, a little bit of salt and pepper, and a little bit of olive oil. And then we're going to move on and talk about what we're doing for the actual rice or the stew part of this. That was just how we get our beef seasoned. So for the stew, we're going to use a little bit of red onion. This is about 1 small red onion, chopped up kind of roughly. We're going to use some tomato paste, about 2 tablespoons. And then we're going to use 2 cups of parboiled rice. Now, when I first wanted to make jollof rice, I had no idea what parboiled rice means. Turns out it's this stuff that comes in a box. So you can find it at your grocery store. It will say on here parboiled rice. I'm not really sure what the difference is, but make sure you look for that. I think your rice won't cook up quite the same if you don't have that. So that's what we need for the rice and the stew. We're also going to make a sauce that we're going to kind of simmer everything in, and we're going to start that here at the food processor. So all we're going to do for that is take 3 Roma tomatoes that I've chopped up. They're kind of roughly chopped because they're going in a food processor, so precision's not important. We're going to take 1 red bell pepper, again, kind of roughly chopped. And this time we've got 2 small red onions or 1 big guy. I actually used 1 big red onion for this time. And then we're going to add in 1.5 cups of stock. We're ultimately going to use 3 cups in this recipe, but right now we're just using 1.5 cups. I'm using vegetable stock. You really can use any kind of stock for this recipe. I think vegetable or beef would taste the best since we're using beef for our meat. I really like the flavor that vegetable brings to it, but anything really works. Now all we're going to do here is we're going to set this on the thinnest setting of your food processor and puree it down until it's kind of a smooth sauce. If you bought tomato sauce from a can, ultimately that's what we're kind of going for in terms of texture and consistency. Hopefully not in flavor. Hopefully this will be a bit more flavorful, but that's the texture and consistency we're looking for. So I'm just going to pop the lid on my food processor and just process this for a few seconds to a few minutes, depending on how dull my blade is, how dull your blade is. Get that to that consistency, and we'll head on over to the stove to start it cooking.
First, we'll get started making our tomato sauce. Once you pureed the tomato mixture, pour it into a large pot or Dutch oven and bring it up to a boil. Then reduce the heat to medium and cook it covered for about 20 minutes, stirring once or twice until it reduces by half. You're looking for about 2 to 2.5 cups ultimately. Then remove from the heat and set aside. Let's move on to the beef. In the same pot you used to make your tomato sauce, once you remove that sauce, add your beef, 1 teaspoon of curry powder, 1 teaspoon dried thyme, and some salt and black pepper to taste. Then add 2 teaspoons of olive oil and turn that pot up to medium heat. Make sure to brown the beef on all sides about 5 or 6 minutes, then remove it from the pot and set it aside. Go ahead and add your chopped onion, a pinch of salt, bay leaves, the rest of the curry powder and dried thyme, and a little bit of white or black pepper, and cook that for 2 to 3 minutes on low to medium heat. Then add in your tomato paste, cook for another 2 to 3 minutes, then add in your tomato sauce that we made in the first step. Add in your rice and the cooked stock, add in your beef, and then cover with a layer of foil, and then put the lid on the pan to seal in the steam and lock in that flavor. Turn down your heat to low and cook for about 30 minutes. Okay, so here we have it. It's Sam's Jollof rice, or at least till his restaurant opens. It looks delicious. I guess, is that the curry powder? Yeah, it's the curry powder, yeah. I love how fragrant it is. So let's just dish it up and dig in. Grab ourselves a scoop or 2 each. I'll try not to get it on you. Make no promise.
It's me. I think I've got flour and... Thanks. Oh, look at that. Looks delicious.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Sam's onto something.
He is. I've never made this the garden way, but like Sam says, this is the best way, and I tend to believe it. But we'll have to see.
Hello, welcome to the cocktail portion of our Ted Lasso episode. What I'm going to make for you today is the cocktail that Rebecca had. It's a lemon lavender mojito, or a lavender mojito, something like that. Lavender-ito. Yeah, let's go with that. So before this shot, I went ahead and prepped some lavender simple syrup. It's 3 tablespoons of lavender flour and some simple syrup, which is sugar and water equal parts. And then I added some butterfly pea flour just to get this nice dark purple color. If you don't have that, you don't need it. It doesn't contribute any flavor. It's just coloring. You can use purple food coloring, I guess, but in Europe they don't really like artificial colors, so this is the natural way to do it. Yeah, so you just add that in while you're doing the stuff. This will give you a nice color separation when you're pouring it. If you don't have it, it's going to be clear. Lavender doesn't contribute that much color to your simple syrup. So what I'm going to do is start with 1 part lavender simple. I also added about a teaspoon of lemon juice to give it that nice dark purple color instead of blue. And then we're going to do 1 part of clear rum. No, we'll add ice. 1 part clear rum. I'm going to do 2 parts limoncello. You can also do lemonade, but again, I really wanted that bright yellow that limoncello tends to bring. Now, as you pour this, if you don't layer it properly, you're going to see that limoncello start reacting with the butterfly pea flour in the bottom because it's acid. It'll mix with that flour and turn it pink. And then you're going to top it with some seltzer. pouring carefully. And no mojito is complete without a lime. Presentation-wise, it looks very pretty right now. But before you drink it, you will want to stir it, or otherwise, with your straw, you're just going to suck up all that sugar water at once. So that's it. Bon appetit.
Hello, my friends, and we are back. We are here for Biscuits with the Boss. We're going to make some shortbread cookies today, or biscuits. The shortbread cookies have 4 ingredients. We've got butter, unsalted butter. We have all-purpose flour, salt that's already in there, some vanilla, and I can't count. This is sugar, so I think that's 5. It's fine. Anyway, I have made shortbread cookies a lot, and I've tried all the different ways on the internet, and here is the best way that I've found. You use all-purpose flour. I know sometimes it says use rice flour or use some whole wheat flour or oatmeal. Well, I cannot taste any kind of difference, so do not put more pressure on yourself and just use the all-purpose flour. Make sure it is sifted. That is very important. And now we're going to just start dumping stuff in the mixer. Start with our butter. And we're going to let this go for like an episode long, you know. So turn this on, go watch your favorite Ted Lasso, and come back. It's still going to be mixing. I'm just kidding. About 6 minutes, we're going to mix the butter and the sugar, which I wanted to talk about. It's doing great today. This is castor sugar. As you can see, it's very fine. It looks like this. It's also called baker's sugar or bar sugar because it's used in a lot of cocktails. If you can't find it, I found it on Instacart through Kroger. So you can use granulated sugar. It measures the same, tastes pretty much the same. It's just the texture. So a half a cup of that going in, and we're going to mix it for 6 to 8 minutes. You want it to be very pale yellow and just nice and fluffy. So here we go. Okay, we are blended with the butter and the sugar, and see, it is very pale. It's almost white. So I'm going to just give it a really good scrape down. And I'm going to add the vanilla, and then I'm just going to mix it just for a few seconds until the vanilla is in. Ooh, that is very fluffy. I'm going to make some fluffy cookies. Just dump it in. Just gonna mix it just for a few seconds, get it blended. Oh, that's nice. I'm not a clean cook at all. I'm gonna have junk all over me. I walk around most of my life with peanut butter on my shirt, so it's just me. So I'm gonna give it a good scrape because we're gonna add the flour next. And once we add the flour, we're not gonna want to touch it very much. Just as minimal as we can. So we want nice, light, and fluffy biscuits. So I'm going to add that gradually while I'm slowly having it on the lowest speed, and just mix it until it comes together and looks like sand. Try to get it in there. Not at all. That's it. You can see it's still, it's not formed a ball at all. So we just want to leave it there. And I'm going to take the handle off. Baby. Oh, jeez. La la la. Bring it over here. And I'm just going to finish it with my hands. I'm going to form a ball while it's still in the pan here. And then I'm going to dump it out. And we're not going to need it unless we really have to. It is very sticky, so I hope you don't mind getting your hands dirty. Yeah, it's supposed to look like this. Crumbly, a big old crumbly mess. It's fine. Your hand probably won't look like this, but it's just me. You just want to kind of press it together until it just forms a ball. Which it will do, you just got to work it a little bit. And that's all I'm going to do, because we're going to press it down once we get it into this 9x13 jelly roll pan. You can use a baking sheet. You can even use just nothing glass. You want it to be metal. All right. Plop it in there. And then we're just going to gently press it until it fills the pan. Okay, now that it's all spread out in the pan, this is optional. If you like a smoother top and not a crumbly top, you can take a small pastry roller or a glass and just gently roll it over the top. And it'll help it to be more smooth when it comes out of the oven. All right, that's it. This is going to be chilled in the fridge for about an hour. We want to let the butter solids firm back up, and that'll give it an extra light texture once it comes out of the oven. We're going to chill this for an hour, and then I'll come back and score it. We are back, friends, and we have our cookie tray cookies come out of the refrigerator. Nice and cold. You can see the little butter has solidified. So now I'm going to get a little extra. I know I'm usually like the messy, I don't like to measure anything, just throw it together, but I've got a template for the cookies because these have to be perfect and they have to fit in our little box. So this is, we're going to do 2.5 by 1 cookies. This is a 1-inch strip cut to the length of my pan. So I'm just going to score this. Don't go all the way down. Just do the top layer, and you're going to want to just take your time and do it right, because then as soon as it comes out of the oven, we'll cut it real quick and it'll be a lot neater. I'm just going to do my 1-inch score. All right, now the other one is 2.5, and I made it to fit the width of our pan here. So just cut it to whatever size pan you're using. And now I'm just going to try to clean up the edges a little bit. Now I'm actually going to cut all the way through here. Just the extra crumbly bits that are not going to look pretty. But you can still eat them up. All right. Now hopefully you have buttered your parchment paper enough that when these cook and you cut them out, they're just gonna come right out. We'll see. It's something for 20 minutes from now. So these are gonna go in an oven at 325 degrees. We want them to stay pretty much this color. We want them to bake, but not brown at all. We want them as pale as we can get them fully cooked. So 325, 16 to all the way to 20 minutes, depending on your oven. Just don't walk away when you hit that 15-minute mark. Just kind of check on them. When they start get a little tiny bit of color around the edges, pull them out. They're ready to go. So we're going to put them in the oven, and then we'll come back to cut them into our little squares. Okay, friends, here's our cookies. These aren't all the cookies. I will just tell you a little secret. These are just the ones that look good. The rest are over there. So if yours don't look or a little crumbly on the edges, just eat those. They're fine. So now we're going to go a little bit different than the show, Ted Lasso. We're going to dip some of ours. I've got dark chocolate melted with just a teaspoon of orange extract. So let's see. I'm going to pick the ones that aren't perfect and just dip them in. I've got a piece of parchment underneath to catch all the drips. Just dip them. Lay them back. I'm just going to do a handful. Also, I did want to mention, normally you would prick these with a fork, and there is a reason. It's not just for decoration. Is to help them. If you can see, some of them have a little bubble on the top, and if you prick it with the fork, it'll stop it from doing that. But they're not like that on the show, so I sacrificed that for continuity. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple more. Whoop! What are you doing there, mister? You gotta work fast, because once it starts to harden, it'll just be gloppies. Nobody wants a glop. Well, it should be fine. Ooh. Do these little squares. And you don't have to do this. You can also use any kind of extract that you want to add to chocolate. Ooh, pistachios would look really good on the top if you want to do that. One more. I'm going to pick one more. This is it. Oh, it broke. Broke in half. Now I use a square. And look at this. This was extra just for me. So it works out in the end, friends. Pop in there. Alright, I'm just going to let this harden for just a few minutes, and I'll come back, plop it in the box, and we will eat. Okay, here we are. We've done it!
It's so good, and I love the pink box.
I had to have a pink box. And this was actually, I got it on Amazon, and it did say Ted Lasso pink boxes. So
Perfect.
very good. Alright, so you can see our little chocolate is now hardened up, and it's time to taste.
It's delicious. I'm gonna grab one of these chocolatey boys.
All right, bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
I'm not gonna say it.
It's appropriate to say though. I mean, we won't say it, but imagine we are.
Yeah.
These are wonderful. The chocolate, super great addition. I think if Ted had put chocolate on his from the start, it would have won Rebecca over a little sooner.
Yeah, and the orange, you can just a little bit of orange flavor. Just delicious. So 4 ingredients or 5, I can't remember. Not that many. You should give it a try. Make your own shortbread cookies.
I'm gonna run away with these in the meantime. All right, so that was it. That was
So much
Ted Lasso.
fun. I loved it.
It was a ton of fun and really tasty. Very tasty.
Yes, I think we did Ted proud.
I think so. Yeah. If you didn't believe, you should have.
That's great.
So yeah, what'd you guys like the best?
I think I'm going to go with the drink because I love it. It was layered, but I like the little grain at the bottom. And then it was just tasty. I love limoncello is my favorite.
Well, I'm gonna go with the cookies or the biscuits rather. The biscuits. I am kind of a sucker for shortbread anyway, but the chocolate orange dip is just yeah. It was next level. It was so good.
Happy times.
Yeah,
It's gonna
happy
sound
times.
it's gonna sound staged and given and all that, but I really like the chocolate rice.
Oh yeah, it was
It
good.
was good.
It's
The
not going to
flavors are
sound
great.
staged because it's Jollof rice, not chocolate
Right.
rice. That's really your cue card.
Yes.
I didn't even realize. Like, yeah.
We don't have cue cards.
I know that was the joke because you said it was staged.
Yeah.
No,
The Jollof rice, I really like it.
good,
It was
good.
delicious.
Because I don't plan to stop making it anytime soon. So, yeah, no, it was all really good. I like liked it a lot. I loved the pink boxes that you found
Yeah.
for the cookies. That was just an excellent extra touch.
I love how on the description on Amazon it said, Ted Lasso, and everybody had their little cookies in the box.
Nice.
We all love Ted.
Yeah. How can you not? Like, I really don't know how you can watch that show and not love it. But I don't know. Everybody's different, I guess.
I guess. I'm not going to judge, I guess, a little bit.
Well, speaking of everybody being different, I am sure everybody will make the recipes that we have whipped up here today a little bit differently, and we'd love to see what you did with them.
Yes.
So if you make our biscuits or our rice or this cocktail, we would love to see it. Maybe you didn't do the layering, maybe you opted to not go with the butterfly pea flour in the cocktail. We'd love to see what that looked like. So if you made any of this stuff, post it with hashtag #BoneAppeGeek, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, wherever you want to post it. We'll be looking for it, and we'd love to see what you came up with. If you're looking for what we come up with, if you're looking to follow our socials, Nora, can you tell them where you can find us?
We are at AppeGeek Show on all of your fun social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit. I'm on the Reddit. I haven't posted Reddit, but we're on there. Everything. So check us out at AppeGeek Show.
You can also, if you'd like, buy us a coffee.
We believe you can.
We believe in you. You can buy us a coffee. That is at coffee/BoneAppeGeek Show. All of the proceeds from that come to help us keep making this show.
Buy better tape.
Buy better tapes or props and signs hold up a little better.
Keep us out of relegation.
It keeps us from being relegated,
exactly.
yes. So if you would like to not see us relegated, feel free to buy us a coffee. You can also check out our website at www.boneappegeekshow.com. And the most interesting thing you'll find there is all of our recipes written out in a blog format. So if you didn't catch something we said on the show, there's an easy reference for you to find it and make it yourself.
There's also a little bit of trivia. I always like to put like a quote or something from the source material on with the recipe. So you can find the link to that, our website, and everything, our coffee, everything down below in the description box. And while you were there, if you liked what you saw today, please give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, go ahead and subscribe. It would really help us out. We're a brand new channel. Also, if you missed one of our last show, which was our Hobbits, Lord of the Rings episode, you can just click the I over there, and it'll take you right to it.
And if you are wanting to see more, you're in store for a good time because we are bringing you more. On March the 27th, we'll be back with our next episode where we are covering the cantina in Far Cry 6. I think that's going to be a ton of fun.
Yes.
Hoping we can have a little chorizo and Wapo here. Maybe not Wapo, I'm a little bit scared of him, but yeah.
I would just kill him, so you shouldn't come here. He's in danger.
You can't kill Wapo.
I don't need to.
Before Nora kills Wapo, we are going to end this episode, but we'll see you soon in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.